No. Hold on, before you dislike this video, because I don't know, actually, I think it's pretty agreed upon in the community that this game is a shell of its former self, so yeah, just don't dislike the video yet. In this video, I will mostly be talking about my experiences in Season 3 of Overwatch 2, though I'll be going over stuff in the beginning of Season 4 as well. I'll start with the beginning of this game, going back to the trailers. I remember it fondly. I was minding my own business in the lunchroom of school when I see a new cinematic came out. I watch it just to find out there's gonna be an Overwatch 2. I make sure everyone around me knows and we all pretty much have the same reaction. Why? The cinematic itself came out so Blizzard could feel safe from the drama in China or something, but why have an Overwatch 2 at all? It's like Fortnite, where you should just continuously update the game and not make a sequel because it wouldn't make sense. Of course, now that I'm writing the script, I remember there is going to be a Fortnite 2. Kill me. At the point that cinematic came out, I was starting to fall off of Overwatch. I wasn't as addicted as I was, in part thanks to the BS competitive play made you go through. So even if a sequel made sense, I, along with everyone else, still would have likely had a lukewarm response. Skipping to launch and the servers are backed up. So skipping a couple weeks later and everyone hates the game. Poor video game donkey had everything he hoped didn't happen with the game happen. And after hearing all that bad stuff was true, I stopped caring. I remember I stopped playing when that scuba skin for Sigma came out because the loot boxes didn't give it to me. That was back in Overwatch 1. So as far as I was concerned, the game was dead when people couldn't even play Overwatch 2. Alright, so years later my friend is trying to get me to play, and the main reason I wouldn't is because I thought all my stuff would be deleted because I wasn't using a Blizzard account before, and I thought it wouldn't transfer and all that yada yada yada. Eventually I got on, and yes, I did get all my stuff back, but the nigga who invited me to get on stopped playing when I finally did so he could go play that mid-ass game Valorant. Obviously I was pissed about that, but what got me more pissed and pushed me to make this video was the game itself. The rest of this video is pretty much my experience and my opinions on this game. I encourage you to play for yourself and determine if the game is still enjoyable. I'm going to now go on a long rant about the various things that bugged me while I played during the latter half of Season 3 and the beginning of Season 4. Alright, so when I first got on, there's already a problem.
Battle passes. I hate them.
Like everyone else, I'm not trying to spend money on this piece of shit game, so I'll just ignore that for now. I gotta play my first game and I met with the decision I hated most in Overwatch 1. Role queue. Now let me be clear, I speak for no one in saying this, but role queue sucks ass. The game puts you in a role if you're choosing, or a random role if you're an actually good player and pick all. Then when the match starts, you're stuck with that role for the rest of the game. People like this role because they suck at their job and need at least 2 people in every role, but just no. I, for one, am best at certain characters and roles on certain maps. Dorado, for example, I'm good at DPS with a pocket support, but I'm trash at tanks. Whereas somewhere like Circuit Royale, I'm good with all 3 roles, but especially tank. In open queue, if I'm sucking at a certain role and not just a single character, I'll switch roles, no problem. But I can't do that in role queue because once the dumbass game puts me on tank and Dorado for the 50th time, I can't get off tank and have to choose from the limited number of characters I'm actually halfway decent with. But of course the dilemma is that in open queue, niggas don't want to get on the right role. Everyone wants to play DPS and or just sell the game. So you can't play open queue because everyone sucks, and you can't play role queue because the game isn't balanced. Like bro, I just want to play my best as my best with people who want to do the same thing. Is that too much to ask? Like a lot of what I just said stems from separate problems which I'll get to, but damn, they still can't even get queuing for a game right. Anyways, I mentioned my thing with maps a moment ago, but you want to know my biggest problem with maps? 1, not all the maps are present in the first 3 seasons of the game for some reason. Fortunately for Season 4, that's not a problem anymore. 2, not all the maps are good. 3, not all the game modes are good. 4, they need to make a functional competitive mode for a Call of Duty type deathmatch. And 5, there's way too many maps for me to be getting the push game mode 2 times in a row, damn it. When it comes to the word map, I think Blizzard just loses all brain cells. Maps, mapping, mappa, they literally need to rely on fan creation for map stuff sometimes. And Overwatch is no different. Hell, they even just put out a fan created map, though it seems to just be for deathmatches and free-for-alls and such. I started in Season 3 and lost most prior knowledge of what to expect when playing, so when I kept getting the same maps over and over, I began to raise an eyebrow and wonder what was up. I looked it up, and when I saw they not only started doing map pools for no reason, but took out a whole game mode, I was shocked. Not only could I not play on my most favorite maps, but I couldn't even play on the good old game mode of point capture. Not the one with the point you fight over for a game, but the one where you try to attack or defend 2 points. They took it out completely and I found no clear answer as to why. The clearest one I found was people didn't like the mode, which to an extent I understand, but then you keep maps like Paris in the arcade and I'm confused again. Man, and Temple of Anubis was one of my favorite maps too. Oh well, at least they added a new better replacement. This mode is garbage. I don't think a single person playing this mode says, oh boy, this sure is a good game, which they might not do at all, but they especially wouldn't do it on these maps. But hey, I'm not gonna get too much into it since it's just one mode of 3.5. Speaking of which, the other modes are as alright as ever, with the many changes to Overwatch 2 from the original. The maps are one thing that don't really change aside from a bug fix or something. The map pool I mentioned earlier is taken out in Season 4, and it's the best part of the season by far. I tell you, it's been so long since I played on Hollywood, Watchpoint Gibraltar, Route 66, and Eichenwald. Just seeing these maps again is great as they're some of my favorites. Hopefully they don't add map pooling back and any maps they add in the future are as enjoyable as these. Despite that nagging, overall I'd say the maps are fine, which is the opposite of what can be said about the players. The other main topic I mentioned was the players, and they suck. Like, a lot. I swear, in the first game, if a match was proving difficult, it was usually because the enemy team was using a cheesy strategy like this. But nowadays, I swear, the match is just a wash for one side or the other. It's so incredibly annoying, and while you can blame matchmaking or give the middle finger to role choice like me, sometimes the players are just straight up bad. I got in this match one time and this motherfucker came up talking about how it's his first time on computer. Like, dude, you're in a fucking competitive match talking about that. Get off the internet. You might think I'm being mean by saying that, but I hadn't played the game in years when I got on again, and I was already in Platform Silver in a matter of a couple weeks. And it only took a couple days of strictly quick play. But hey, what can you do? Broke niggas suck at video games, and yes, I said broke niggas. This game is free to play now, so all the poverty-stricken Valorant players and stupid-ass COD players are around to act tough and be toxic despite being the worst player in the room. And can we talk about that for a moment? Like, it was bad in Overwatch 1, but I swear this game became free and opened the floodgates for toxic fools from lesser first-person shooters. I heard it is worse on Valorant, so I assume a good chunk of the toxic players in Overwatch 2 are from Valorant, especially since most Valorant players are trash Overwatch players, because they're broke. But the other chunk of toxic players I'm convinced are from COD, because they all be talking mad shit despite being the worst in the lobby. Like, shut up bro, it's not anyone but you. Like this one game, someone was complaining about my not pushing, so I moved on to the objective and we got it. But when he dies and sees I'm holding the point like I should be, he starts talking about some, oh yeah, keep standing there. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. I'm literally dipping their tank and took their objective in the process. Shut up and get your skill up, you trash ass, bitch ass, hook ass, dumb ass, DPS playing piece of... So annoying. And the thing is, this is mostly happening in role queue. Open queue people are much more civilized, though equally as dumb for not getting on the right role half the time. I mean seriously, tanks are nerfed in this mode. One of them is not enough anymore. Still better than having to throw a game because you're not good as tank on the specific map you've been dealt. Yo, I'm tired of blasting insults at stupid people who won't even hear them. To wrap this section up, just ignore the toxic people, and if everyone is sucking, you can do one of three things. Stop playing, continue to test the odds of getting a good team, or the secret third thing I'll mention in a moment. So which is better, open or role queue? You know, back when role queue first came out, I hated it, but looking back, I think that with 6 players, role queue works as a great mode. Now with 5 players and extra stress being placed on a 50-50 chance of a good tank, it's terrible. But people will rather play with a set team than a creative one because they're too terrible to try another role. So because of that, I still prefer open queue. Only I wish people would get their shit together in that mode. Honestly, talking about it now, I think the problem more than anything is the fact that they took a whole player slot out, making the max 5 players. First of all, I bet they killed a lot of group friendships by doing that. Second of all, it's a lot easier to adapt to situations with that missing player present, because at least if one person is bad, you're that much more likely to have someone else to pick up for their slack in that role. But damn, I don't think 6 players is something we'll ever see again, so rip to great team dynamics and making up for any and all slack, I guess. Now about that secret third thing, in saying all that I just said, I realized that there's something that can fix it all.
Friends,
Yeah, if you get a group of friends to play with, pretty much all the problems I've stated fade away. Of course, you'll probably want to play with the people around your skill level, because weighing the team down is A, a dick move, and B, leaves a bad feeling with people who have a heart. Unfortunately, not everyone is addicted to the game like I assume you are, so it may be difficult to find people who are on your level and play the game as much as you do. So for that, all I gotta say is good luck. So, is Overwatch still good, or better yet, was Overwatch 2 good to begin with? The answer is still no, but you can make it good. After all, the only things I talked about in this video were quick play and competitive. The arcade has lots of modes available to play that in my opinion are much better than the mundane gameplay of trash player quick play. Though the rule of playing with friends applies to arcades as well. So to wrap this up, all I have to say is ignore the toxicity, report the throwers, sombras, and play with friends. Oh, and of course remember to not forget your ambition while in the thick of the game, because at the end of the day, it's just a game.
Oh my god.
P.S. to all sniper players, first of all, go fuck yourself. Second of all, if you haven't played and are thinking about returning to the game, don't. Nobody likes you. And third of all, go outside. But don't interact with people though. Your very being is repulsive to the mind.